Welcome back to the Road to 237. This is episode 4. We're going to take a look at last week's training, then talk about next week's training. And today I wanted to share some thoughts on a shoe that's been a regular in my rotation for a couple cycles, the Hoka Mach line, and specifically the Mach 6. So without anything further, let's take a look at last week.
Monday morning, first run of the week, doing 8 miles this morning. I'll bring in some strides in the new progression, so 8 by 30 seconds. I like doing strides before a speed day. It kind of loosens the legs up. And even though I don't have any speed workouts this week, it's good practice. I usually do a speed workout on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so I'll get it back in on Monday to get back into the routine.
I have an easy hour of running this morning. It's Tuesday, day 2 of the week. And to mix things up, I thought I'd run to the library. Got a book to return. So doing my civic duty here. Get some easy miles in, mix things up a little bit. So far, about 1.5 miles in, feeling pretty good.
Day 3 of the week. Got a 14-mile medium long run planned for today. Medium long run is basically just your second longest run of the week in a marathon training cycle. So given I've got 16 planned for this weekend, 14 makes Wednesday's run the medium long run, MLR. It's a good training tool to use to increase your weekly mileage. That's most often what you'll see it used for in a marathon training cycle, just get those miles in. A lot of times I like to use my medium long run with some kind of speed work too. So, you might go have some intervals or some marathon pace running, something like that. Again, since this is still just my week of getting back to normal weekly mileage, it'll be all easy miles for us. So they're early mornings, but that's kind of what you sign up for when you've got 5 kids and work a full-time job and want to run marathons. I don't take gels on most of my morning runs, but these medium long runs I will. So taking a couple gels and, as you saw, putting some scratch hydration in the bottle, so that'll have a little bit of carb and some electrolytes as well. Thursday, day 4, run 4. I've got an easy 8 miles today, or an easy hour, I should say. It'll probably end up being about 8 miles. But I am going to bring in the second group of stride progressions for the week, so 4 by 45 seconds and 4 by 15 seconds, again, just to kind of mix things up a little bit so it's not the same stride progression, week over week, day over day, etc. From here, we'll take a rest day and move the schedule around a little bit. My wife's running the Disney Princess half this weekend, so I'm not going to try to do a long run on Sunday since she'll be racing, so probably mix that up, do my long run on Saturday, and go cheer her on.
Thursday afternoon, I was also able to make it into the gym for a fairly quick lift. Again, focusing on compound lifts here, trying to get the most bang for the buck, as I'm not making it into the gym much more than once a week here.
It's Friday, day 5, run 5. I had originally planned on swimming today. It's been a fun little cross training for me. And then I moved my long run to Saturday, and then just another easy run on Sunday, just to kind of work with family schedule and my wife running the Disney Princess. But when I looked at the weather, it's cold for Florida today. Actually feels like 36 right now, so I'm putting on some extra clothing. But didn't think that swimming in that cooler weather would feel very good, so moving things around. I'm gonna do an easy hour run today, and then maybe I'll try swimming on Sunday. Getting ready for run 6 of the week, final long run, or final run of the week, and it is the long run. We'll do 16 miles today. It'll get us to a total of about 63, 64 miles for the week, so it's great getting back just into the normal weekly mileage. I get to start workouts again next week, which I'm very excited about. So I'll do a workout on Monday before we go into the week, but we'll talk more about next week later. For the long run this morning, all 16 easy miles. Got half a bagel for breakfast, and then along the run, I'll take a pouch of scratch for in my water, and then I'll be taking 3 gels. May need 2, may need 3, we'll see. Not as many as I would take during a race, but we're still far enough out from any kind of race that I don't think I need to be working on training my stomach for it. So we'll take 2 or 3 just so I feel good, have good energy levels throughout the run, and yeah, should be good. Saturdays are not usually my long run days. I usually long run on Sunday, but my wife's running the Disney Half Marathon this weekend, so we traded long run days. A little tradition I started before all of my long runs with my kids is I got these little books for them, and I draw a picture in their book before each long run. So it'll be fun to share what we've got. My oldest daughter's gone through a Harry Potter phase, so she's got a whole book filled of Harry Potter characters. My other daughters have enjoyed Frozen, Wicked, so we've been kind of all over the place, but today we've had a request for Zero from Nightmare Before Christmas from my oldest daughter. My second oldest daughter wanted the behemoth from Nightmare Before Christmas. We call him Shovel Guy, even though it's an axe in his head. My son wanted Olaf. He's kind of pre-colored his entire book, so we draw around the color. And my 4-year-old daughter, a hippo with a bird on its head. I like doing those pictures because I'm not always here then when they wake up, and so it's fun for them to have something to look forward to when I'm out on a long run. And it's also just an easy way to show that I really appreciate them giving me some flexibility so that I can take the time to go do a long run. So I think it's important that when your family's supporting you in doing something that you're passionate about, that you find some little way to, give back and show them that you really appreciate how much they're supporting.
Just finished up the 2-mile long run for the week. Ended up getting a little more than I thought I had planned for, so that's great. Everything felt really good. Ended up taking all 3 gels, so that's probably part of why I felt so good. I've learned over the last couple training cycles that even if you don't necessarily feel like you need the gel, every 30 to 45 minutes is not going to hurt you. It's going to make it easier. It's going to recover better. So stuck with that today. So ended up with about 64 for the week. So super happy to get back to normal mileage. Workouts pick up next week. So all in all, a good training week.
Sunday, I headed out for a 30-minute swim in an unheated pool. Man, that was cold. All right, so let's start talking about next week's training. So next week, I get to bring in the workouts again, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to do a different schedule than normal for my workouts. Usually I like something like a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and then that still lets me get a long run in for the weekend. But I'm taking my 4-year-old daughter out to Colorado for the week, so I'm going to squeeze in an early morning workout tomorrow on Monday. I'm not going to try to work out at altitude. We're going to Estes Park, Colorado, so I'll be going from basically sea level all the way up to about 7,500 feet in elevation, so easy runs alone are going to be challenging there. So workout tomorrow morning. I'll pick up a workout then probably Saturday when we get back. Like I said, tomorrow's workout's going to be 2 by 2 miles at half marathon pace or half marathon effort, since this is the first workout back. And, I have ideas of what I'd like half marathon pace to be, but we'll see how it feels tomorrow. Also, the forecast is looking pretty wet, so, that could adjust some pacing as well, especially if it's humid. And then when I get back on Saturday, the goal is 6 800-meter repeats at 5K pace. Again, these are some good, shorter interval type work that are still going to give me some faster speeds and I think help me get ready for the 2-mile race that I've got coming up on March 15th. Those easy runs at elevation, the idea will be just somewhere around an hour of running. There's a really big hill that I like to run when I'm out in Estes. So that'll probably be a regular, and again, that'll slow pacing down quite a bit. So mileage will be different. Focus is just going to be on easy time, and really enjoying the scenery while I'm out there. All right, and last up today, wanted to talk about the Hoka Mach 6, which is a regular in this rotation for me, but the Mach line in general has been a regular for a couple different training cycles. I've run in this definitely since the Mach 4. I don't recall trying out the Mach 3. The 6, in my opinion, is a huge improvement over the 5, largely because of this rubber outsole that they've added to from what was on the Hoka Mach 5. I've used this shoe for a variety of different applications. I've used it as just a daily trainer. I've used it as a long run shoe. This past cycle, I actually used it as a race shoe. and I've used it in speed sessions as well. And that, for me, the speed sessions and the race shoe in this last cycle, that's really just because I've had some issues finding the right carbon shoe for me. They tend to work well at shorter distances, but anything over 20, 22 miles, I tend to have issues in my calves with carbon plated shoes. So while I figure that out, this has been a great staple to kind of fall back on. The Mach 6 is considered a neutral shoe, and it's considered responsive. So that means that it's going to keep you a little bit lower to the ground. And again, that's why it works really well as a speed shoe for a lot of people. And for folks, it could be a great race day shoe, just as I used it as my marathon racer here recently. It's coming in at 8.2 ounces, so it is a pretty light option, especially for a daily trainer too. So lots of positives going into this shoe. The heel to toe drop, that's just your difference here in your heel versus up here at your toe, is 5 millimeters. And so the heel to toe drop is something to consider for those that are new to running as you figure out what kind of shoe might work best for your running profile. So for those of us that have a heel first strike, you're probably going to want to look at something that's got a larger heel to toe drop. That also would include runners that have had issues with their Achilles or maybe flatter feet too. A lower heel to toe drop tends to suit runners better that have a mid or front foot strike and or have higher arches. So just some things to consider as you're looking into shoes, what you might want to be looking at and what that heel to toe drop means and why it's important. So again, in summary, this shoe's been a great staple for me. I've loved it. I loved the 4. The 5 was okay. The 6 is a great improvement over that. This rubber outsole has really improved durability. These ones are easily going to get me past 400 miles, I'm sure, and great across lots of different applications. So with that, we're wrapping up episode 4 here, and we'll see you next week for episode 5.